We are going to build a Python number guessing game in VS Code. I am starting with the finished version for a few seconds, just so you know where the lesson is going. Then we will go back to an empty file and write it piece by piece. The game will have difficulty levels, a limited number of guesses, input checks, and a play again option. The point is not to memorize the code. The point is to understand why each part is there. Start by making one folder for the project. I would name it Python Guessing Game. Open VS Code, choose File, then Open Folder and select that folder. This is a small step, but it matters. When your editor and terminal are both pointed at the same folder, running the file later is much easier. If VS Code asks whether you trust the folder, and it is a folder you made, you can trust it. Now create the Python file. In the Explorer, click New File and call it guessing_game.py. The .py ending tells VS Code this is a Python file. I am using underscores because they are easier to type in the terminal than spaces. Open the file, click into the editor, and save it once before we run anything. Command-S on Mac, Control-S on Windows. Before typing code, it helps to say the program in normal words. The computer chooses a secret number. The player chooses easy, medium, or hard. That choice controls the highest possible number and the number of guesses. Then the game keeps asking for guesses until the player wins or runs out. That is the whole plan. Once the plan is clear, the code stops feeling like random lines. We will start with the setup. Import random, because that is how Python will pick the secret number. Then make a dictionary called difficulties. A dictionary is like a small lookup table. If the player chooses easy, we can look up the max number and the number of attempts for easy. Medium and hard work the same way. Keeping those settings in one place makes the program easier to change later. Next, make a function called choose_difficulty. A function is a named section of code that handles one job. This function asks for easy, medium, or hard, and it keeps asking until the answer is valid. We use lower so easy with a capital E still works. Then we check whether the answer exists in the dictionary. If it does, we return the choice and its settings. That return is how the rest of the game gets the difficulty information. Now we need to handle guesses. This is the part beginners often skip, and it is why simple programs break so easily. Input always gives us text, even when the player types a number. So int tries to convert that text into a number. If the player types something like pizza, the conversion fails. Try and accept lets us catch that problem instead of crashing. We also check that the guess is inside the allowed range. If the guess is usable, we return it. Otherwise, we ask. Now we can write the round itself. Play round starts by calling choose difficulty. Then it pulls out the max number and the number of attempts. After that, random randint chooses the secret number. The while loop is the main part of the game. While attempts are left, we ask for a guess, subtract one attempt, and compare the guess with the secret number. If the guess is right, we print the win message and return. If it is too low or too high, we tell the player and continue. At the bottom, we add the loop that lets the player keep going, while true means keep running until we choose to break out. Inside that loop, we play one round, then ask if the player wants another one. If the answer is not yes, we print a short goodbye and break. This pattern shows up in a lot of beginner projects. Run the main thing, ask whether to continue, and exit cleanly. Now run the file from the VS Code terminal. Type python3 guessing_game.py. On some computers, the command is just Python, so try that if Python3 does not work. I like testing easy mode first because it is quick. If you see an error, look for the line number before changing anything. Most beginner errors are small: a missing colon, a quote that did not close, indentation that moved, or the file name typed slightly wrong. Fix it, press. That is the full project. You made a Python game in VS Code, and you used a dictionary, functions, loops, if statements, input validation, and the terminal. If you want to practice, rebuild it once without pausing on every line. Then change one feature. Add expert mode, track the best score, or give warmer and colder hints. That is how the project starts turning into your own code.